Hello, everyone. It's me, Jazzy Mack, and I am super excited to bring to you a no phones work from home role with Target. I actually have multiple roles for Target. Now, these are going to be completely work from home, and the first one is going to be more of an entry level role, and then the second one is going to be more of a role for those that have a little bit more experience. And these roles pay somewhere around the $25 an hour mark, up to about $45 per hour, depending on your experience. So they're great for entry level, and they're also great for those of you that are a little bit more seasoned. So let's go ahead and hop into these opportunities. And because I know that these types of jobs go really quickly, I included some bonus opportunities. And yes, we're going to do the resume demonstration, and all the resumes are going to be available down in the description box if you need to download them to use. So I want to do the bonus roles first, and I want to save Target for the end. So let's go ahead and look at the bonus opportunity. So our bonus opportunity is going to be for Cigna, the insurance company. We've all heard of Cigna. Now, Cigna has some no phone roles, and they've also got phone roles. So let's look at the one for phones first, and then we will look at the one that is no phones. So the first role is going to be for the customer service representative. It is work from home. It was just posted a couple of days ago, and it's going to pay up to $19 per hour, 17 to 19 per hour. With the option of getting overtime. So I want to emphasize that you don't need health insurance like experience. You don't have to have a background in working in like call center or anything like that, because they do have a training program that they send you through. And if you want to do that program and work customer service and then later become a licensed agent to work on some of the like more complex accounts, you can do that. It's up to you. But again, you don't need experience in this sort of stuff. So you're basically going to help customers, clients, and healthcare providers with topics like determining the payment amounts and claims, whether or not claims should be paid out, or if there is some sort of copay that the customer or the patient should be covering. And you're also going to, just answer general questions around the benefits for the customer. They may ask you, when does my coverage start? When did it end? Was I covered? Was it denied? They may ask questions of that nature. So here it says they offer extensive hands-on training and guided on-the-job training to ensure that you are successful. So again, they will train you. They're saying, hey, just have a high school diploma and have some customer service experience. Doesn't really matter where you get it from. And have some experience in Microsoft Office Suite. That's it. Now, medical terminology is a plus. If you don't have it, it's not a deal breaker. I do want to just encourage you could watch a YouTube video on medical terminology to become like more familiar with it, but it is not a deal breaker. Okay. So again, they pay up to $19 per hour. They also give you 18 days of PTO per year, and you have paid holidays off. Okay. Tuition reimbursement, student loan people. This is for you. That's for me too, because one of my companies that I used to work for actually paid a portion of my student loans off. So it was pretty awesome. So we will look at the resume demonstration for that one, but I do want to pop over to our second role before we go into the Target one. And this is our second bonus role. So this is a denials analyst role, and it's going to be for it's going to not involve talking to customers. This is going to be more internal, maybe chatting with your teammates. But what you're generally going to be responsible for doing is handling appeals and looking at dispute reasons for appeals. So if there is an insurance claim that was denied, the customer or the patient has the ability to appeal that denial and say, hey, I am appealing this denial because this was supposed to be covered, or because my doctor actually approved this prior to surgery. So this is a clerical error of some sort. So you would be looking at some of those claims and determining whether or not to approve those claims, or determining if the denial is going to stand. This is not talking to customers. This is probably you kind of just, setting your own schedule and ultimately making a decision about the status of a claim. And you may partner with account managers to help resolve any type of issues around like the account itself, as far as those disputes go. But yeah, so that's going to be the primary job duty, making that determination. So this is great for people that have ever worked in like auditing. If you had to do any type of project coordinating where you had to organize something and like, even if it was like balancing a budget, determining how something was going to be spent as far as like a budget, or determining when to disallow someone else from spending something. All of that is great. We all got kids that constantly ask for money, and we got to build a case on why they should not get every single penny in our pocketbooks. And so this is nothing new to you all. All of my moms, you've already got experience with disputing things and with denying things, or making a determination to hear out the case again. So again, this pays a little bit more than the first one. This goes up to $93,000 per year. It is a much higher paying role. But it's not something that requires you to have a ton of experience. Okay. They're saying like 2 years of experience is cool. If you've ever worked in collections, you've ever worked in billing, payment support, you've done payment arrangements, all that stuff qualifies as rules and regulations experience. So that is very relevant experience. So this is where your call center experience, chasing people down for collections, this is where that comes into play, where you can make, $45, $46 an hour, $93K a year, doing very similar work that does not involve phones. This is absolutely no phones. So let's look at the resume demonstration, and then we will go ahead and look at the target role. So I've done resumes for both of those roles, for the customer service one and also for this denials analyst role. And I'm just going to do this first one. If you need the customer service one, you can use the description box to download it. Make sure you get the one that says the ultimate. But we always talk about hot words, which are buzzwords that the computer is scanning your resume for. And a lot of people don't get interviews because they don't have enough hot words. They don't have enough buzzwords. So obviously, some of your buzzwords are going to be things like customer support, key performance indicators. We saw that in the job description. We also saw the reference to Microsoft Excel. We saw a reference to trend analysis. We saw a reference to denials, appeals, dispute resolutions, account management. We saw all of those words like contract management. We saw that. So you want to make sure you have at least 6 to 8 hot words in your resume, somewhere throughout the resume. I like to have 8 to 10. So this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 already. The more the merrier. But again, your resume does not need to be longer than 2 pages. A lot of you want to put your life history on a resume. And I want to tell you that sometimes having a super long resume can be the reason why you're not getting the job, because you are essentially confusing the system, and you're also confusing the hiring manager and the recruiters that read your resumes. And they're going, oh my goodness, this person's done so much. I don't really know what their specialty is. Okay. So don't be that person that does a 4-page resume and you're trying to fit 20 years of experience onto a resume. 2 pages is the max. Don't do any more than that. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for is going to be the job at Target. So this first role is going to be a little bit more entry level friendly. Okay. And what I like about this role is it is an admin assistant role on the marketing creative team. So a lot of you that want to go into marketing, creativity, all that sort of stuff, this is kind of like a really cool way to get into it without having to be super experienced. Okay. You'll have like a bird's eye view of what's going on in that world. So for this particular job, they're saying all you need to have is a high school diploma and 2 years of admin experience. Admin experience isn't necessarily working in an office. The things that qualify for admin experience are data entry, file management, auditing, uploading secure files, creating badges, scanning people in or buzzing people in. It could be accepting packages. It could be signing for packages. It could be bookkeeping if you worked in accounting. It could be sending a daily report to your manager to say, this is how the meeting went, or this is how the shipment went. A lot of you people that have worked previously for like Amazon and companies like that, you've definitely done some admin work. So a lot of that falls into the relevant experience. And of course, having Microsoft Office experience is going to be a plus. This job is going to pay up to $40 per hour with a minimum of $22 per hour. If you have any of that experience I just mentioned, I would be aiming more so for 30, 32 per hour. If I live in a state like California or New York, definitely aiming for the $40 an hour. Okay. Just saying. So, I forgot to do shout outs. Listen. Y'all make me so proud because Chantel just commented yesterday and was like, hey, Jazzy, thank you so much. I interviewed with American Red Cross on Friday and received a call a few minutes ago that she'd been accepted and she starts in February. Congratulations to you, Chantel. And then Jasmine commented and said, I'm hired. Thanks for putting this jewel in my back pocket, Jazzy. Her start date is February 13th for the customer support specialist role at Amazon. Congratulations to you. And then Dayshell came a few weeks ago and said that she applied for Progressive and came back with an update saying, I got hired today. And so congratulations to you, Dayshell. Thank you all for letting me know about these jobs that you're landing, the resume templates that you're using. I'm just really proud of you all. Okay. I had to say that before I did this next job because I didn't want to forget. But there are so many of you commenting saying, Jazzy, I used your templates and I got the job. And sometimes I don't see it until like days later. So forgive me if I don't shout you out. It's like I get hundreds of comments each day. So sometimes it's hard to see everything. But yeah, on to the next role. So this is also going to be a no phones role. This is a data analyst role. And this one is going to be fully remote. So please make sure you ignore the locations. Those are just for the people that want to work in an office. It says remote or hybrid. It's totally up to you. But this job is going to be centered around data analysis, related to field operations. So I would imagine that this is like data analytics around what's happening in the Target stores. It could be data analysis about the inventory, are they bringing in enough products? Or it may be data analysis around how the associates that work the cash registers, how are they performing? Are they getting, a bunch of bad reports from customers? So it could be any of that stuff. But I wanted to point out that they're saying they wanted you to have a year of data analytics experience. So all of you people that have like SQL experience, or even if you've got like Tableau experience, you've got Microsoft Excel experience, building tables, creating charts, all of that is considered data analysis. If you work in a role where you've used Python or R, that's obviously going to be a plus. But some of the other skill sets that you might have are going to be the Adobe Analytics or Google Analytics. So if you've worked in like social media management, maybe you had a side business that used Google Analytics, all of that is going to be relevant experience. Now, when we talk about this role and how much it pays, it's going to pay up to $94,000 per year. Okay. This is a high paying job. So I wouldn't sleep on these opportunities simply because they're not going to be there forever. Don't be that person that comments 3 days later and tells me you went to the site and it wasn't there. And now you're like all sad about it. Like, I told you that you absolutely had to be on it. Like, you've got to jump on these roles. So for the data analyst position, I did resumes for the admin assistant position. That's already in your library, but I just want to do this one first. If you're going to apply for like the target data analyst position, some of the hot words you want to make sure that you put in your resume are going to be data analysis and supply chain, because you would be a part of the supply chain team at Taj. Now that is 5 hot words off the bat. This is how your resume gets in front of a recruiter and how it gets in front of a hiring manager. Not having 4 pages long, not telling your life story, not including your hobbies. This is very clean and focused. So again, some of the other hot words that we saw were SQL, we saw Python, we saw Google Analytics, we saw Adobe. All very relevant things. So you may say, well, Jazzy, how do I know if I have that type of experience? I'm so glad you asked, because if you say we're a trainer, okay, let's say you were a trainer at Apple, or maybe you were a trainer at Progressive in the call center. Some of the things that you do as a trainer is you monitor trends, okay? You audit. Some of the other things that you do is you may look at training schedules. When you look at training schedules to determine how many agents you need to do a job or how many agents you can let go home early to keep costs down, that is data analytics. When you're creating schedules, when you're writing reports on performance, that is the analysis of the data that you're pulling either from a system or from a report. All of that is very much data analytics driven. So you don't have to be like a data analyst in order to have that sort of experience in your everyday job, working for Apple as a trainer or working for Best Buy as a scheduler, the person that schedules everybody's holidays off, or the person that approves PTO requests. Data is everywhere, and we're constantly pulling reports. We're constantly giving updated reports to leadership or to our manager to say, this is how much money we made in the store. This is how much we lost. These are the number of complaints that we got today. These are the number of people that have not gone through their certification. All of that is data. All of that is data. So again, this is available for you down below in the description box should you need it. But congratulations to all of you awesome people that have landed these roles. I'm so freaking proud of you all. Seriously, y'all make my heart so happy when you come back with these updates saying that you landed the job, or saying, hey, I used your advice and I redid my resume using your hot words and it worked. That stuff is it's so crazy how it works, but it's simple. And it's so simple that it's almost scary how well those things work. So when you have a good attitude, when you practice gratitude, things come to you. they will come to you all the time. They will come easily. But if you're that person that says, I never get hired, I never get a call back, things never work out for me, you are essentially co-creating your reality and you are speaking those negative things into existence. So keep that at the top of your mind as you go in to enthusiastically apply for these roles. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you need help with anything. And until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.